sort of introduce yourself in your life. You can build groups on your own, and this sort of interactiveness and the ability for people who are in the process or who are thinking of coming to Canada to actually speak with Canadians and to actually speak with people who have completed the immigration process and understand the sort of challenges that they're facing, where their confusions lie. I mean, this is something that nobody's ever done before. So this is why we're receiving such a positive response.
What's been the efficacy or the ability, of course, to cause change because of this? What are people reporting back? Are they coming back and saying, hey man, thanks for the tip, now I know which door to go in versus where I went? Like, what are you hearing back from people that they've gone there, they found some resolution, they found some ideas, some concepts, they found some tips?
Yeah, I think that it's all of that. But, admittedly, we were thinking, still in the beta version, even though we were being well received, that maybe we were being a bit idealistic about this.
What do you mean? How do you mean?
Idealistic about, providing people with a space where they could develop social and professional relationships, but it actually is happening. We're starting to see in the forums and in different groups and stuff that are being formed that people actually are building friendships and professional relationships across borders.
How do you know that? How do you know they're doing that?
Well, you can tell by the way that they're interacting, the conversations that they're having. We have had people respond to us and say that, I'm a nurse and I was able to get in touch with other nurses in Canada, and they provide me with the information on where to submit applications and who to speak to, and so people are actually using this as a tool to build relationships.
And this may be actually a reverse tool. And I mean, I guess, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but
the people could use it to learn about places internationally. Well, equally, yeah. I mean, it does work that way. Obviously, our focus is Canada, and in providing prospective immigrants and people in the process of immigrating to Canada, with the space to meet Canadians.
But I'm also thinking
it works the other way around by breaking down this sort of us and them dichotomy between the foreigner and the Canadian. This is the point of LoonLounge really is about community building, and it's about getting people to realize that Canada is a country based on immigration, that that's not going to change, and these people aren't foreigners and different people that are coming into invading your community. These people are your community, and they're your future community, and they're really not all that different.
I think you have a hard time winning anybody over that already is a part of that mind share. We're going to go. No disrespect. I mean, I love idealism, but but the fact of the matter is that when it comes to immigration, well, you'll hear my thoughts on it when we come back with more of First Take Live. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to First Take Live. We're talking about immigration and what the new social network space is available here in Canada. Well, it's available anywhere because it's the internet. It's LoonLounge.com, and you can go onto this website and find out all kinds of information. So, what has your Canadian immigration experience been like, and are you ducking because it's been so frustrating? Because unfortunately, I always say there's margin in the mystery. Yes, when people make it frustrating and mysterious, people get to keep their jobs or charge you money to help you navigate what should be really easy. And what I can see right now with this tool called the LoonLounge is kind of like Facebook for people that are immigrating. And what it's going to do is take away some of the mystery, so some of those people may have to find new jobs, as far as I'm concerned, because it's a little bit of frustration that the government has failed at being able to accomplish. So leave it to private industry to figure it out, and leave it to government to mess it up. So joining me today, sorry, that's not yours, that's my star, Natalie Hunter. Good to have you with us. I know that's not your point of view. I mean, you're here to do the right thing, make sure it's being done. I think sometimes government, I won't say this, I think government sometimes is so big, so hard to navigate, that they cannot operate like an entrepreneur can. Yeah. It's impossible because there's too many layers and too many people worried about being fired or having a bad review, and too many egos and icons. So in this case, it started off with this, but it wasn't without any controversy because, David Cohen is an immigration lawyer, so it could be easy that could be funneling some business his way, but he's not. I understand he's taking a further step back now.
Yeah, I mean, it was initially a project of David Cohen's, but it really is not some fantastic marketing ploy. This actually is, it's a very separate project. It's something that David just always wanted to see happen, because just realized that there was a missing link in this immigration process. In his career in being an immigration lawyer, he was able to help people through the process of obtaining their visas and their ability to become permanent residents of Canada. But at that point, that was the end of his mandate, and he just realized that there was a large missing link between visa and obtaining your visa and a successful settlement.
Well, and not unlike the Canadian story, his dad emigrated to Canada in 1906.
Yes.
And took a job as a shoe repair?
Yes.
And then ended up having a clothing store, according to a bit of the background.
Yeah.
But that was an atypical way Canada grew. I mean, Canada has grown through every country, through every nation.
Yes.
And then, of course, the experience was, he kind of felt some affinity towards that?
Well, the key element to that story is that when his grandfather arrived, he didn't know anybody in Canada. He landed in Montreal, actually thought that he was in New York. And he didn't know anybody, except before he had left home, his mother had given him the name of a man who used to live in their village in the Ukraine. And that man, that name, he was able to track down the actual person and knocked on his door one day. And that man had been in Canada for quite a few years, had established himself, had built a shop, and was kind enough to sort of, take David's grandfather under his wing, provide him with, the information and the help that he needed. And that was sort of, that social connection that got David's grandfather on the way. And This is what was in his mind all these years, realizing that, in our modern fast-paced worlds, it doesn't really work that way anymore.
Right.
So maybe there is, some way that we could sort of modernize what things like that used to happen, and enable people to build these social connections before they arrive, so that they're better prepared when they get
I guess it's a major. It's with the advent of the internet, everything's changed. I mean,
yes.
all the gig is different now. Mm-hmm. What surprised you most about this so far, for you? Excuse me, I have to cough. Go ahead.
What has surprised me most, to tell you the absolute truth, is how positively Canadians have reacted to it. To be completely honest, we thought that we may have to work a little bit harder to get Canadians interested and to get them involved, but we have doubled our membership because of Canadians getting involved since January.
Can we tell that are the expats of what country? The Canadians that are here.
Yeah,
like the Canadians that are joining
them,
you, are they from other countries and became Canadians?
You know what? A lot of them are relatively new Canadians. So they're people who have gone through the immigration process and understand the challenges that are involved and are looking to help people who are in the process now. But there are quite a few of them who are just, maybe it's a bit of an altruistic bent, but it's there, and they're just born and raised Canadians that realize that immigration is a big part of our reality, and that this is a way that maybe they can positively get involved.
What's the most false thing that you've learned that most people believe about immigration? I mean, listen, first of all, let me sort of phrase that. Because the way the economy is going, and every country is kind of becoming xenophobic almost when you think about it, that they are, everybody's worried about immigration coming in, and because the economy is moving and jobs are in short supply. Like if you go to your website, for example, one of the links you bring up is, when you try, in order to be an immigrant, and there's a certain amount of points people have to accumulate. Yes. It's kind of like and go there, and on the website has, let's look at the website. They brought it up. Thanks, Paula. So on there, they can navigate and go through all kinds of links, blogs, etc. Right? Tell me what we're seeing here, and then I'll...
Right, what we're seeing right now is a section called the Immigration Facts section. So LoonLounge is trying to not only provide the social networking tool, but also to provide a basis of, correct information to help people. So this is the Immigration Facts section, which provides complete information on the different immigration